While, yes, the polling is very bad for the Liberal Party of Canada and Justin Trudeau himself, the bigger issue for them right now is their crushing inauthenticity. Nobody should ever wonder how Pure Polyev and the Conservatives are leading the Liberals nationally by 20 points when you just watch Liberals posting their own videos trying to connect with Canadians. They seem like bad AI in every single thing they do, with Trudeau included, even though he's supposed to be the acting teacher. You'd assume that he could, act charismatic, he could connect with people. He used to be able to. Go back to watching videos of him in 2015, 16, and 17. He used to be somewhat good at this, but his popularity took a dip. And then so he made it the media's job to protect him, not his own job to connect with Canadians and defend himself. And so both he and the rest of the party has gotten extremely rusty when it comes to just their ability to talk normally. They don't know how to do it anymore, and so they all sound so weird. I'm going to start off with a video of Trudeau himself. Then I want to jump over to easily his most inauthentic minister. Maybe not the worst Liberal MP or minister, but the weirdest one to watch even just speak. Somebody who I'm acutely aware that there is a script in the room every single time she's making a statement. But first, here's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at some Pride event. I think it's Vancouver. It really doesn't matter. Frankly, every city starts to look the same when there's Pride events going on all the time, which is really a statement about how genericized a lot of progressive liberal culture is. But here we go with Trudeau trying to make a statement about what pride means to him, or what pride means in general, I suppose.
Awesome. Take care.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
What does pride mean to you?
Pride is about coming together and celebrating what it means to be Canadian in our full diversity, in our respect for each other, in the freedom to be who you are, to love who you love. This is what pride's about. It's worth celebrating. It's worth fighting for. It's all about being Canadian.
It's so bad. And then they just cut to like some weird fan edit of like people taking photos of Trudeau. I hate his statement right there. And like his camera guy, hey boss man, hey boss man, just out of nowhere, what does pride mean to you? And Trudeau acts like a little bit taken off guard, like, oh, what does pride mean to me? Well, pride means being Canadian. It means like as soon as you say, well, it means being Canadian, it's so stupid. Oh, it's about being Canadian. It's about coming together. All this stuff. It's like it means nothing. You're basically admitting that it doesn't mean anything, because if it means being Canadian and it means being together and diverse or whatever, well, then it's just abstract. It's nothingness. And in a certain sense, I think it's just exposing that so many left-wing politicians use a lot of this gay culture stuff as just a vehicle for vague, abstract left-wing ideals, even though in theory it should have nothing to do with it, because it's basically just a parade for those who are like LGBT or whatever. But anyways, what also makes this even weirder is that he also did the exact same video in French. So they pretend to do the exact same, hey boss, what's going on? What does pride mean to you? And he answers the same thing in French while pretending to connect with the crowd.
La fierté, c'est un moment de célébration, c'est un moment de renforcer qui nous sommes en tant que Canadiens, des gens divers avec différentes personnes.
Yeah, it's so bad. I don't know why they do this. Videos like this are why the Liberals don't do well. It's overly scripted, overly polished, and you just end up sucking out all of the value of putting out videos to the public to connect with people. This is what made Pure Polyev, especially in the 22 leadership race, so, I guess, compelling. All of his videos seemed authentic. He seemed like he was actually talking to you, because he probably was trying to frame what he was doing as if he was talking to somebody, speaking to issues people wanted to hear about. Justin Trudeau doesn't talk about issues you want to hear about. He talks about issues he wants you to care about and vote along the lines of. He's never saying, okay, a lot of people are concerned about this, so I'm going to make a video on this. He's saying, I want people to be concerned about this, so I'm going to make a video and then imply you're probably a bad person if you don't care about it. Not in this particular video I just covered, but that's generally his comedy through line whenever he's doing anything. But I want to move on to somebody who I believe is the most inauthentic liberal politician there is in Canada. There's people I find to be worse politicians, more annoying, obnoxious politicians like Mark Garretson, but this woman, her name's Jenna Sudds, who I believe is the Family and Social Services Minister. Even just photos of her look inauthentic. They look plasticky. She is just a plastic politician. You could manufacture her in China because there is not a single bit of organic energy to her. This is a post that she made in French, but I want to jump up to this video because I've never been so aware that somebody is reading a script other than her videos. Like her videos are the videos that make me most aware that somebody is holding up cue cards while she's doing this walk and talk video. But this video says at the top, high quality, affordable childcare is a necessity. Let's not let Pierre take it away. And notice how also, for some reason, we didn't need government funded childcare, affordable government funded childcare up until when Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh made it completely unaffordable to live in Canada with the help of their partners in crime in provincial governments. I give you that. But notice how we never needed these programs up until maybe the last 5 years when they've hurt our economy so badly people need the assistance. That's always the backhanded thing about assistance programs, pretending like you're meeting a problem that was only there because you created the problem. But anyways, without further ado, here is this video from Jenna Sudds.
Having kids in childcare is expensive. As a mom of 3, I understand. Our $10 a day childcare program is saving families across the country thousands of dollars every year. 750,000 kids are already benefiting. Odds are you are too. That's why
It's also not me during that first section of the video who's making the frame rate bad. Like I know my computer can be a bit slow and screws up the videos, but her video is actually like frame corrected or whatever, so it has this like very strange feel, like the frame rate is going up and down while she's walking there. And there was like 3 cuts there for her to make a very basic statement. And I want to go back to like when she's even walking here, her hands just become very like stiff, like she doesn't know what to do with them while she's making this statement, and her intonation just comes again across like she's reading cue cards from somebody walking next to her cameraman.
Expensive. As a mom of 3, I understand. Our $10 that and training more educators. But Pierre Poilievre has made it clear that he will scrap all of this. He would rather pit parents against each other, telling them.
Even with that one hand as she's walking along, it's like she doesn't know what to do with it, so she just kind of leaves it, paralysis right next to her body while she's kind of walking around. She looks extremely robotic while she's doing this video, and it's no wonder why. The Liberal Party is full of appointees, people Justin Trudeau handpicked to be in the government. And so it's full of people who do not have the talent to have risen this high without being just lackeys of Justin.
Pit parents against each other, telling them that
this government take money out of their pockets and then spend it on raising other people's kids.
He thinks making childcare more affordable is a
slush fund to increase the cost of living on Canadians.
And
that quotes about the fact that it's becoming a slush fund for liberal-friendly daycare organizations. And overall, the program for affordable $10 a day childcare, quote-unquote, is terrible. In Calgary, we had threats of all the daycare providers, most of the independent providers, just shutting down because they're like, well, the reimbursement rates for the $10 a day childcare program is horrible. If you're a downtown childcare organization, if you're near the downtown of any city and your rent is pretty high, you can't afford to stay open with the $10 a day childcare. It's not just that you get $10. Obviously, the government kicks in money per child that you're caring for, but it's uniform reimbursement rates. But obviously, in the real world, private business works in the frame of like, if you're in more expensive real estate, your products tend to be more expensive because usually you're in a more convenient location for people. The further out of a city center you get, the lower your prices can be, because usually your market is smaller, infrastructure costs less, and all that. But her pretending like Pierre Poilievre is going after, like, she's trying to frame this like he thinks the idea of childcare is a slush fund and any parent taking money out of it is like a bad person. That's obviously not what's going on here. It's the way that the Liberals create these programs around sucking up as much money as possible to hire as many unneeded public employees as possible, and then usually give special contracts out to a lot of friends. They are the absolute sole source contract kings of Canada. There are so many contracts that never get bid on by anyone else but somebody who used to be in the Liberal government. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The educators who teach and nurture our kids are just babysitting. He's got a message for us.
To be fair, that is kind of what early childcare is. It's basically babysitting.
I will fight until my dying day to stop this daycare bureaucracy.
What? It's a necessity for millions of families across the country, and we can't let him take it away. I'll keep fighting for affordable childcare because it makes the world of difference for parents, for their monthly budgets, and for our kids.
Just everything about her, it just screams, I'm not going to vote for you. If the Liberals were smart, and this is what's happened across the board, very unskilled politicians like Jenna Sudds, Uri Ferrani, frankly, Chrystia Freeland, all these very awkward, uncharismatic people have been put into their positions. And you can say, oh, someone might fire back. Well, it's because they're very good at their jobs. They're not good at their jobs. They're not. All these programs exist because the economy sucks, because they haven't been doing a good job. And all these bloated programs, yes, there's going to be anecdotal people that are like, well, I benefited from it. Okay, well, it's not the taxpayer's job to spend billions of dollars. So a fraction of people end up getting some slight benefit. That's not how the government's supposed to work. That's not how taxpayer money is supposed to be used. But again, all of these people in the Liberal government, including Trudeau himself, have just lost so much touch with Canadians that every time they try and actually venture out of their cocktail party bubbles, they act like complete AI robots, because they haven't actually come up against real questions, real people in a very long time. Remember when Justin Trudeau, I think up till 2017, you can correct me if he ended it even sooner. Remember when he used to do those town halls? No, like, I don't like Justin Trudeau, but good on him for actually taking hard questions. You would have hard questions, like a veteran would stand up and say, hey, you said that veterans are asking for too much. An Indigenous person would stand up and criticize the Indigenous services bureaucracy. You'd get people who are pro-oil and gas challenging him. There was actually, that was good discourse. And I actually think it kept Trudeau faster on his feet. These days, he's just rusty, terrible, and highly scripted. As somebody who's supposed to be a good actor, someone who's supposed to be able to be charismatic on camera, he and his entire cabinet is completely incapable. But anyways, that should be it for me today, guys. If you want to support the show, you guys can donate to the legal fund in the description of the video. It's the Give, Send, Go link below. We're $32,000 deep in defending ourselves in this ridiculous lawsuit from a Chinese billionaire suing us for defamation he cannot prove, and in over 2.5 years has not even filed any evidence to show how he defamed him, how anything we wrote about him ended up even hurting him in a material way. He has nothing, but he's just simply throwing paperwork at us, I don't know, out of an ego trip. So if you guys contribute to that, really helps me out. And then also, I'm right now here in Abbotsford helping out the Conservative Party of British Columbia, the provincial party, going to try and take down the NDP Premier David Eby. So if you live in BC, consider also contributing $100 to the Abbotsford South Constituency Association for the election. If you contribute $100, you get $75 back. It only costs you $25 to donate $100. David Eby and the NDP have a massive money advantage over the Conservatives because the Conservatives were such a small party up until a year ago. So make sure you donate during this election cycle if you actually want David Eby out. I find so often people end up being like, well, no, other people donate, but, I just tweet out stuff. And it's like, you got to at some point donate. You got to at some point volunteer, do something real. I find way too often the people who complain most about election outcomes were the people who actually did nothing to make sure that it would go the right way. So make sure that this is the time that you actually step up, because I think if David Eby is reelected, there is not going to be much left of BC in 4 years. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Very early in the morning, woke up at 3, just decided to stay up and then record a bunch of videos. But I'll see you guys in my next one.